open up lanes and various things through there, and it's you'll see a lot of it here. It's just
you said tons of robots.
Tons of robots.
Good. Like, can we put that in a quote?
Yeah, the setting for this one's pretty unique. I think visually it's beautiful. And again, this idea that there's going to be a significant map-based score streak or map dynamic event. And this one, as Greg mentioned earlier, is about the decontamination drones, which you can use to your advantage. Key for objective-based modes, right? Like you get the decontamination drones live while you're trying to lock down a DOM point. It's great. So hopefully we'll see that. Depending how the guys are playing.
And it's a little tricky to get, right? What do you have to do to get the drone score?
So you're going to have to equip the orbital care package within your class, and then you're going to have to go get the points necessary to earn that, drop it down into the match, and then there's a random chance that you're going to get that score streak in there. So they are a little rare.
And then they come out of those little blue cylinders, right?
Yeah. So they'll come out of the blue cylinders. 3 of them will pop up.
The map?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they're going to go track the nearest enemy and go take them out and then go on to the next one.
I think that's kind of a key point for the map-based score streaks. It's all about the orbital care packages, right? So when you're going into a map that you know has a map-based score streak, it's key that you take a class that has that equipped.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, so we're going to kick it over to Josh, who has a quick little Twitter question. Josh is asking, how do you come up with these crazy cool ideas for DLC maps?
Oh, hey, thanks for the question, Josh. Look, we start with listening to fan feedback on the main game, and that's what's been great about Havoc. You know, we've had a chance to see what people love in the wild, right? Marrying some feedback from the team's aspirations to what the community has shared with us, and then a lot of just creative visualization and discussion to try and bring something to life. So, you know, you go through a lot of iterations around what we want to do visually and with gameplay, but fan feedback is key, right? What do they love about the game, and what do they want to see more of? And that really helps shape maps like this, right? Again, these quick engagement style maps, and I think this is an example of that. Comes from the main game that we know are popular. We're seeing them in maps like Comeback. So it's a combination of our team's creative sort of aspirations and great engagement from the fans.
And plus, it's just got to be a lot of fun, right? You just go into a room and you're like, what ways can we blow up a map with some disaster?
No, it's true.
Right?
And I think DLC gives us a chance to be a little more creative. So you'll see later with Sideshow, which I think is, we pushed some of the boundaries there on the setting. Gives us some liberties to go a little bit more out there than what we've done in the past.
So this map, it looks like there are a lot of places where someone could sneak up on you and stab you. There's a lot of tight areas that open up into slightly bigger areas. Tell us about that. What kind of places
so,
be here?
So these are going to be choke points, essentially. A lot of those areas that you're talking about, and they're going to separate the combat spaces. They're separating those lanes. So earlier when I talked about how Drift and Core are going to be the more lane-driven maps, that's what you're going to see in the lane-driven maps. Between those lanes, you're going to get a lot of these smaller pockets where players can ultimately hang out, and you can get stabbed in the back and all that kind of stuff. But if you're controlling the lanes and you're working as a team, you can mitigate those risks to really those tight encounters. And with the boost mechanics, you can get in and out of those situations much faster than you could in the past. So there's a lot of that. You're able to use these kind of pockets to really engage into those lanes at a much better angle. Take your time, and you're not getting pummeled in the side or in the back nearly as much because the lanes are there, and just how they're connected is going to stop that from happening.
Are you finding a lot of players really like? I would say this is like a shotgun and SMG map, just off of seeing it a
more
little
of
bit.
A running gun type of loadout might be useful here.
So it will start to look like that with newer players, but the longer you play this map, the more you engage on it, you're going to find that the lanes are much more accommodating to assault rifles and sniper rifles, especially on the ends here. Like, so this area has 2 sniper points that you can basically sit up in and just hold down, whereas the center is going to be much more chaotic, and that's where you're going to really want to hang out with that those SMGs or those shotguns.
Okay, and then, sorry.
Yeah, we're going to go for another quick Twitter question from Philip J. He asks, how many artists worked on the level design and overall map design for the DLC? How much manpower
what's the team look like on this?
Yeah, it's significant. I think, Sledgehammer Games and everybody that worked on all these maps with our partner studio, Raven, since we finished the main game, have put all of our focus into the DLC pack for Havoc. So, man, it's been a huge effort from tons and tons of artists. People that were working on the campaign previously came across. The exact number, I don't actually even know. If we combine that group, it would be many dozens of artists focusing on these since October to really deliver. So I think we've got the most significant sort of manpower against these maps of any maps we've had on MP to date.
So
I didn't really answer that question very well, did I?
That's fine. Well, I didn't expect you to be like 78
It was
artists.
78, exactly.
Roughly
It
78
was
of them.
the real answer. It was all of them.
Okay. All the artists
All
in
the
the
artists.
world
All of them.
have come together. You were mentioning how there isn't exactly one playstyle that dominates. Is that, do you build maps in that way, or do you sometimes want to build a map that's like, hey, this is actually more for close quarters?
We do. We've gone in the past and said, hey, we want people to build classes for this map. That tends to not go over too well with a lot of people because they don't want to constantly, change their create a
Gotcha.
class. What we try and do is make sure that we have a variety of classes that are viable. So we don't want anything to not be like you can't find a place to use a sniper rifle in this map. Like there are plenty of places to use a sniper rifle. There are plenty of places to use a shotgun. So we're looking at ways to really diversify the gameplay, and then also put the placement of the objectives is really what we're going to be like. Oh, the B dom point. Cool. Well, what do we want to have happen there? Oh, we want we want a lot more shotguns there. We want to make sure that our snipers can really hold the areas around the entry points to that B point. Those types of things. And so it's mainly around variety in gameplay.
Awesome. So we got another quick Twitter question from S. Wolvie. Remember, guys, keep those questions coming at IGN with the hashtag COD. He asked, what is your favorite edition of the new DLC?
My favorite edition of the new DLC is going to be the sideshow dynamic event where the clown takes off his hat and starts firing cannonballs into the match. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I think that map is my favorite as well. I got to be honest, I think the A4 is really a great new addition. The directed energy weapon in a AR class, right? So it's all about the speed of an AR that I like to play with without having to manage a reload if you manage your battery power. So, and like Greg mentioned, with all the loot variants coming online tomorrow, I'm chasing the elite A4.
Oh, yeah.